In this video, you're going to learn how to design a utility shed in Autodesk Revit. The first thing that you need to do is to start a new project file. We're going to click on New, and we're going to use not the construction template, we're going to use an architectural template. So make sure you change this, click OK, and it should open up a new window with a setup here. So the first thing we're going to do is rename some of our floors. So we're going to go over to our browser bar here, go to Floor Plan, right click on Level 1, and hit Rename. And we're going to rename this to Floor. We want this to be renamed Floor in every view that is in the computer here. We're going to hit Yes. We're going to rename Level 2 to Roof. Hit OK, and Yes. So that should change it everywhere. So to give you an example, see how it changed here, Floor and Floor. If I go into one of my east elevations, you see Floor and Roof. So that changed the name everywhere. So we're going to draw some walls. We're going to go back to our floor plan, and we'll click on Wall, and you'll notice that this whole bar across the top will change the way that it looks since I'm in the Wall command. And this little green box says that we are under the Modify Place Wall toolbar, and this kind of changes everything along here as well. We can change some of our options. The first option to draw a wall is we're going to unclick Chain, and by doing that we'll be able to draw individual walls like so. And then we'll be out of the Wall command ready to start drawing another wall. And we can continue creating walls by clicking, but each time we'll have to click on the end point of the previous wall and line all of these up. So that is method 1 to draw walls. So I'm going to, you notice I'm still in the Wall command. I'm going to hit Escape a couple times. Once, and you can tell I'm still in the Wall command because this is highlighted green. I'm going to hit Escape again, and now I'm outside of the Wall command. And now I can click on these and highlight. I can hold and select all these by clicking and dragging, and I can press Delete. That's one way to select walls. Another way is a hover. So I'm not clicking yet. I press the Tab button and it selects the whole loop. If I click, it highlights them all, and I can hit Delete. So two different ways to do that. The hover, tab, click is my preferred method on there. So we delete all those. Another way is to use the Wall tool. And over here I've got some options. I can draw a line, or I can use the rectangle tool. So if I click the rectangle tool, it's going to draw the walls in a rectangle. I click once. You'll see it's drawing all 4 walls all at once. I can click again, and there's my room for the shed. So I did that in 2 clicks versus 8 or 9 in the previous method. So now I can hit Escape a couple times, highlight it, press Delete. The next option is chaining the walls. So I can do Wall, and I'm going to check Chain, and I want to show you what that does this time. Now when I click at the end point of the wall, I'm still in the Wall command. I'm still connected. So it keeps us inside of the Wall command so we don't have to click multiple times to get this done. I can hit Cancel, right click Cancel is another way to get out of the Wall command a couple times. Now that we have all these drawn, we're going to double check and make sure that the outside of the wall is on the outside of the building and the inside is on the inside. So if I come over onto one of these walls and click, you'll see I have these double blue arrows. That means I have the exterior side of my wall, it's on the outside of my building. If one of these is inside of the wall, I just need to click on those little double arrows. You see they move them to the inside, so we can flip those out. There, so now our wall is oriented correctly. So now we have our walls drawn, but they're not really of any particular size. So to change the length of the walls, we're actually going to not click on the wall that we want to change the length of, but a wall that defines the length of the wall that we want to change. So for example, if I click this wall, it highlights and brings up the length of this wall because it's defined by this and this wall. So if I change that, I can click on this blue dimension, and we're going to change this to 16 feet. Another little thing I want to do is zoom in, so I'm scrolling in. As I look at this, you'll notice it goes from the center of the wall to the center of the wall. And in this case, we want our walls to be measured from outside to outside. So I'm going to click this little blue tab, and it moves to the inside, move it back to the outside. So I just click until those blue lines go each to the outside of the wall. And now my dimension is 16 feet 8, so I'm going to change that again by clicking on it and typing in 16 feet. We're going to make this dimension 12 feet. So I'm going to click on the wall that I want to move. And the first thing I'm going to do is put these on the outside by clicking on those blue dots and change this to 12 feet. So now we have it sized, but you'll notice it doesn't list any sizes here. We're going to click on this wall, and I've got this blue dimension as a temporary dimension. I'm going to click this little icon here. And actually, this one needs to be moved out to the outer edges. 16 feet. I'm going to click this little icon here, and that's going to make it a permanent dimension. And you notice now it's stuck. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Move these out. And I make that a permanent dimension, and now I can see those dimensions at all times. So now we have it sized this way. If I do go to a elevation view, this is what my walls look like from the sides. So you see that those walls go quite a ways up. In fact, if you click on the wall, it'll actually tell you how far up it goes. It's a 20-foot tall wall. We're going to change the elevation of these later. The thing that we are going to do right now is we're going to change the height of my roof from 10 feet. We're going to change that to 8 feet by clicking on it. We're going to do 8 space 0, so that's 8 feet 0 inches. Press enter, and I've got my roof now listed at 8 feet. Now we're going to look at this in 3D. So we're going to do that by choosing the View tab up here and clicking 3D View. And now you see that this is what we've drawn so far, or each of those walls, and how quickly that can go. So we can also rotate around and kind of look at different things. And there's also these little steering wheels that we can attach to my cursor by clicking here. And now I've got orbit, zoom in and out, rewind and do undo on my views, and I can pan. So there's some tools that you might want to play with. To turn that off, you click here. The last thing we're going to do in this video is actually change the wall height. So I'm going to zoom out. And there's two ways I can do this. I can click on this, and you see the element properties come up over here. And we're going to change this. You see that it says unconnected height is 20 feet. We can actually connect this to our roof level by clicking here, and we can say up to the level of the roof and hit apply. And you can see that my roof height, or my wall height, is changed, and that should be 8 feet tall. The nice thing about doing it this way is if I were to later decide that my roof elevation needs to be 10 feet, it would follow that change. Another way to do that is to click on the wall, and we have these little blue grips here, and I can drag this down to a specific height. I don't really use that way very often, but it is nice from time to time. So I'm going to hover, tab, and click and highlight all of these walls, and we'll attach them all up to the roof and hit apply. That's everything I want to cover with walls. Thanks for watching.